Thanks everyone for joining us. Sorry, we're running a little bit late here. I'm Carla Barrick. I am an aesthetic nurse, licensed cosmetologist, and beauty industry educator with 20 years of hands-on experience in the industry. I've worked across many areas of aesthetics, wound care, skincare development, and today I focus on helping professionals like you grow their skills and their business. I'm also the founder of TalaDerma, which is a professional skincare line built around science-driven post-treatment care. Today, I'm really excited that we have Kevin with Corpoderm here, who is going to present the DP Skin Analyzer. Kevin, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, and you can take it from here.
Thank you very much. Howdy everybody. My name is Kevin Jallat from France. Came here 3 years ago to develop a subsidiary for this French company called Corpoderm, which develops and distributes aesthetic devices. So among other technologies, we have laser hair removal, IPL, LED light therapies, body contouring, different modalities to really equip your spa. But the one that we're going to focus on today, like Carla said, is our skin and hair analysis device called DP Skin. Do you want me to go dive right in, Carla? You wanted to add something?
Sure. Yeah. Let me open the what am I doing here? Hang on one second. Trying to figure out how to get you to share. Or go ahead and
No
share
problem.
your screen and then I'll just take it from there.
I sent a share request
There we go.
usually.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome. Before I proceed, because ultimately the goal for today is within 30 minutes, present the device within, like a brief description of the device, go a little bit in detail on some of the criteria and answer some of your questions you might have on how does it work, how do I implement this in my spa, and any curiosity you might have. I see that Shafra is here, and I don't know if she's hearing me. Shafra, can you hear me? I'm
It
not
should be.
sure.
No?
Well, that's okay. So Shafra, if she hears us at some point, will happily share her feedback because she owns the DP Skin as well. So she'll be able to give a more customer-oriented feedback. But without further ado, let me dive into the topic. So, what is this DP Skin? DP Skin is a skin and hair analysis device made in France, 15 minutes away from our headquarters in Toulouse in the southwest. Um, co-developed by us and a manufacturer that dedicated more than 15 years of research into deep analysis and just research into this topic. Uh, Among other medical analysis modalities that they developed, they had a skin and hair analysis. We developed a more esthetician oriented with them interface and approach to it where we can easily within 5 minutes get a full extensive report of your client skin and hair look, aesthetic look, within 19 criteria. So I can look 19 criteria in 2D and 3D. 15 of those criteria will be dedicated to the skin. 4 will be dedicated for the hair. Why did we come with a skin and hair analysis? So firstly, to help you get tangible proof of your work to your client, because sometimes I'm doing facials, but my client will have some trouble, seeing how the progress go really. When I'm doing a facial, you might see from your expert perspective, wow, I see that everything going well. Your pores are less dilated. I see less pigmentation, but sometimes I just see that my face is red and nothing much more. So we came with something that should easily give me tangible proof of my work to my client, centralize the data, because what he does, he gives me full analysis. It lets me import my full catalog of products and services directly on the software, okay? So that for each specific result of each specific criteria, I'm gonna have pre-recommended products given to my client. So that way in this interface is they're gonna see their result, their explanation, and the recommended product/services. So we created this product to help you give extensive data to your client, to track the progress of your treatment over time, to set a stage 0 whenever a client comes into your practice, to really say, okay, this is the skin we're working with, basically. What are the areas that are working amazing? What are the areas to improve? Is it redness? Is it radiance, hyperpigmentation, wrinkles, etc.? And then suggest the treatment plans, the products, skincare products, services, and then do a tracking all the time to see how it's getting. It's getting better, it's getting worse. So that way, it leads to the third point, which is that you can audit your work with this. See what protocols are working, which are a little bit not as efficient for this particular crowd, etc. So all in all, a lot of data to say, a lot of information to say. Small device that comes with a laptop, a software, and a hardware. We can see right here, a handheld device, which comes with 2 attachments, basically, that you put on the skin as such, or different area that you want to analyze, or a 3D attachment to take specific measurements of the skin. But yeah, a lot of words, but I think it'd be better if I share my screen right now and show you.
And also hair, right, Kevin?
Yes, yes. So skin and hair, 15 criteria of analysis for the skin, 4 criteria of analysis for the hair. So this is my interface. Either I can sign up or I have my existing client. Let's say I sign up. My name is Kevin today. I'm born on whatever. There we go. I can add my mailing address, email address, phone number of my client. So centralized way to keep the data, okay? Then I can click on all criteria and I can see everything that I can analyze. So for the hair, you can see there's 4 criteria dedicated. We can look at the thickness of the hair, the density of the hair, the inflammation of the scalp, and the level of dandruffs. When it comes to the skin itself, I'm going to be able to look at the level of hydration, the level of redness, hyperpigmentation, dryness, oiliness, radiance, many criteria. And the particularity which really differentiate us from other skin analysis devices is the 3D component. We are able to take a measurement and recreate your skin to render it in 3D, looking at the depth of the wrinkles, the texture of your skin, how smooth it is, and how dilated are your pores. So typically, what we recommend as far as the protocol is to start with taking a picture of your face in 2D. So let me unblur me so then you can see what I'm doing at the same time. Okay, perfect. Let me go back to the screen sharing. Perfect. Okay, so now what I'm doing is to take my 2D attachment, put it on my device. Oh, let me clean it a little bit before I just put it on. Give me just 1 second. There we go. So you can clean it with a cloth, with whatever you'd like. After each analysis, typically I do just an alcoholic pad to clean it. So super easy. Once I have my analysis, I can go and take a picture of the area that I want to work in. So here it's telling me to take a picture, a color image with the camera on the cheek. So this is what I'm going to do right here. You take your measurement, you wait a couple of seconds, and here you already have the data. So you can really zoom, you can look at any sign of pigmentation, blood vessels, irregularities, etc. And here we can see on the top corner that I have some check marks. So basically the top corner of my interface on my laptop, on my software, is dedicated to all the criteria of analysis. So I can retrieve hydration, redness, homogeneity, etc. And the current interface I'm in is basically a summary of the result. So here on the right side, I can retrieve redness, homogeneity, radiance, phototype with already a result ranging from very good to less good. I don't like to say very bad because to each his own. But if I wanted to check all the criteria, all the individual criteria, I can click on specific redness, homogeneity, phototype, depending on what I want to see with my client. And this is an important part because I don't have to complete a full analysis with the DP skin. I don't have to do the full 19 criteria. I can only look at whatever is of the interest of my client. So here, with one picture, we've already unlocked 4 analysis. The redness, so you can see the level, etc. The analysis explaining what I'm seeing, what is the result. And this will change depending on the result that I'm getting. So severe redness, moderate redness. You can see the analysis will change, the explanation will change. And on the bottom right corner, I'm seeing an advice. So it's basically an advice on how to better the result. What could be the potential application? What can we do to better it in general? So here is telling me that I have mild redness. If I was to look at homogeneity, well, it will tell me fairly even pigmentation. So you can see basically it's always the same scale of results. It's a 4-degree scale of results from very good, good, well, bad, very bad, basically. 4 degrees. So very good, no redness, to very bad, severe redness.
And then
And depending on
Kevin,
the
to the right of that where it says my product, is that where the products that you carry are going to populate?
Yes, that's a very good point. So here, this device is not populated with any products, but you can see that there is a dedicated area on the right side called My Products. And this is where I can build my recommendations, and those recommendations will change depending on the result that's been given to my client. To see this, you're going to click on Settings. You can change the software in Spanish or French if you want to. Let me remove this. You can click on Product Database, and you can see all your catalog of product cosmetics, of products, of services. So to do this, I can manually add a product with the name, the picture, the brand, and information. So I can really go in detail looking at the advice, the composition, etc. Or I can import a whole Excel list of products, of services that we can help you set up. Super simple. We send you a file, you import your whole information and pictures, and you put it on the software. Once I had done this, I click on product strategy, and I retrieve the 4-degree scale of result for each criteria. So here I see for hyperpigmentation, I retrieve the 4 degrees from even pigmentation to very uneven. And for redness, for example, we retrieve from no redness to severe redness. And whenever I want to say, for example, well, whenever a client has severe redness, I want to recommend XYZ. I just click. I access my catalog. I click on whichever product I want to add. And from now on, the product will be recommended to people, to customers doing an analysis and having this particular result. Same for the recommendations. If I want to customize it, I can add my own pizzazz, add specific wordings to explain further each result. So it really lets you customize it. You can change your logo and everything. You can really make it your own. Now, going back to this, like I said, we've taken only one picture and unlocked 4 criteria. So the redness, the homogeneity, and again, usually me, I like to really zoom to really look for any sign of blood vessels or etc. so that I can accurately give recommendations and then being like, okay, I need to work on a specific area with IPL or something else, and then track more accurately the result. Phototype is telling me what is my phototype, my skin type. So photo 2, and the radiance here is telling me that I'm mildly radiant. So it's something that I would need to work on most likely. Then what I'm going to do is go back to Face Flash. I'm going to click on 3D and I'm going to change my attachment to the 3D attachment. Once I've done this, it's telling me to take a 3D image with the camera on the cheekbone. Now, this is a standard protocol. If I wanted to analyze, for example, my forehead or the other cheek, I can do wherever I want it. But for the most accuracy, I'm going to follow protocol and put it close to my cheekbone. I'm going to stop talking for 10 seconds. You take a picture. Once it turns darker gray, darker green, that means it's computing everything. And now I've unlocked two other criteria, the texture and the pores. If I click on texture, what is done is recreate my skin, because this device basically took multiple pictures at different angles, different lighting to render a 3D image so that I can see how smooth is my skin. Now, bless my heart, this is not something that's going with me because we can see uneven surface. My skin is far from being the smoothest, and I would definitely need to work on it. So here it's telling me that my skin has some rough spots and surface irregularities. With age, the upper layers of the skin tend to become drier and rougher, etc., etc., etc. So quick way to show my client very efficient given data. So here it doesn't lie, very accurate. If your skin is smooth, it's going to show the smoothest skin. So no need to do anything. If you have problems, on the contrary, it will show it. And it's shown directly to the face of your client. And with that interface is going to be added your recommendation. So the likelihood of increasing your sales of products and services gets even better. Because one of the biggest problems that we've seen with esthetician, and I mean, it's not a problem, it's just a challenge. You have to wear different caps and you got to sell and you got to treat and you got to do all those things. And a lot of estheticians we've noticed have a hard time to sell the skincare lines that they carry because there's a lot to explain, or they don't feel really they feel like they break a little bit the trust with the client by trying to sell the products. And most of the clients are going to come for one specific idea of treatment in mind, and you not feel comfortable too much to say, hey, I really recommend this extra service, I recommend this extra service, blah, blah, blah. Here, everything will be shown to your client with the image, a tangible proof, a recommended list of products and services, and the explanation. So basically a lot of words again that I'm saying to say, we facilitate your work, make it smoother, more straight to the point. If I want to look at how dilated are my pores, I'm showing it directly to my client.
And
Here,
Kevin, I don't, oh, sorry, I
sorry,
was
go
going to
ahead.
say, sorry, Kevin. I don't know if you mentioned
No.
it earlier. Not only your products are you able to upload here, your services as well. So it's going to have recommendations for both your services and your products, which helps you sell more services and, preferably packages as well for your clients.
Exactly. And for your marketing, that would be even so for the sales of products, services, fantastic. For the tracking of the progress with your client, fantastic. To have an enhanced experience at the beginning for the first appointment, skin consultation, fantastic. And for your marketing, you can export those pictures, put them on Instagram. That's perfect. That looks very like telling. And yeah, and basically it doesn't replace you, but it helps solidify the relationship with your client. So here, basically, quick explanation is looking at how dilated are my pores. So here it's something I really need to work on. It's showing moderate dilation, and from green to yellow to red is different level of intensive of how intensely dilated are my pores, basically. So it's really something I need to work on, and I can track over time again how smooth my skin has become after X specific treatment. One very interesting thing is that I can look also in 3D the depth of my wrinkles. So I can take a quick picture, for example, on my forehead. We can see live on the picture that I have some kind of wrinkles. I take my picture. I wait a couple of seconds. And what he does, he takes the measurement of my wrinkles live. So that way, with my client, I can say, okay, this is how deep is your wrinkle. Let's recommend this XYZ product services. After it, let's look how it evolved. And basically, you'll have the opportunity to track the history, see every picture that has been taken in your report section. You can click on history and you can access all the pictures that has been taken for all the criteria. So here I, for example, clicked on pigmentation. I can look at the picture that has been taken on May 12th. What was the advice at the time? And what was the result? So I can see the grade 3.7, and I can see it will build over time different point, and it will create a curve showing a trend upwards or downwards, basically. And this goes for the same for every criteria. So the redness, right here, I can see the picture. So great way to centralize data and show to your client that your products and that the services and all the money they spend in your spa is actually pretty worth it. Now, lastly, because again, we have videos, we can show you from A to Z every specific criteria, because we can look, for example, at the biological age, the dark circles, and acne. I don't want to make this presentation too dense because it's a lot of information and I speak quite a bit. It's my nature, unfortunately, or fortunately. But I want to show you the hair criteria because I think it's very important, especially in this day and age where you do more and more treatments with exosome and for hair growth in general. So here, I just take a picture of my hair. I'm going to target a nice open area of my scalp, something pretty clear where I can see the roots. I press a little bit, boom, the picture is rendered. So bear in mind, we already taking some measurements on the redness of the skin of your customer. We looked at the depth of the wrinkles. We've covered already all of this, and on top of that, we're looking at the hair. So I can zoom. I'm going to look at the thickness, the density. I can see here, I know my scalp, I know it's not dandruff, it's going to be more because I use product in my hair and excess of sebum. But I can really zoom in high quality to track the progress of the roots if I'm doing any hair growth treatments. And I can click on dandruffs. It's going to basically centralize data on the level of dandruffs of my client. Can look at the scalp erythema, again, showing the level of inflammation. The diameter is probably my favorite criteria because you can simply target the middle of a hair, take a picture, and boom, it's assessing the thickness of my hair. So then the game is to take multiple samples to create an average, but usually between 4 or 5 samples is enough to give a trend. So here it's telling me overall my hair is normal. If we were to take 5 extra samples, it would lean towards the same result. Okay. The density is pretty simple. Manually, with my handheld device, it's basically working like a mouse. I'm going to target the roots that I'm seeing on the picture, and it's going to compute an average. It's telling me that I have X amount of roots per square centimeters, hence that giving me information on whether I have subnormal hair density, low hair density, or normal hair density. So here it's basically one of the only manual criteria. It requires around 45 seconds to cover everything. Here I've done it many times, so I'm pretty fast at it, but it requires just a little bit of experience with it. So we've covered pretty much all the roots that we've seen. There's one more here, and that's it. No, excuse me, right here too as well. So here, very normal hair density, no problem with that. So the good thing about this device, super compact. I just have my handheld device. I have I don't know how to say in English, but you have a support basically for the handheld device. You connect through USB to the laptop, which is given to you as well when you purchase the device. You have the laptop coming with the software. You just set your software, you plug this, and you start your analysis with your client. And the good thing, like I said, is that it's not gonna lie to you. It's not here to exaggerate. Okay, if the customer's skin looks great, it's gonna tell you you have pretty much nothing to worry about. There might be some improvement rooms to work on, but overall, it's working well. And I can tell you this because when I'm doing trade shows, we've done one in Phoenix 2 weeks ago. I've done probably 30 demos, 50 demos on the skin analysis. Probably a good 5 out of the 30 had exceptional result. No redness, no big pigmentation, very even pigmentation, no very smooth skin on the texture. And it's okay. It's okay. It's a tool to help you. It's not here to wrongfully upcharge your clients. It's not just marketing. If you wanted marketing, the skin analysis, there's other options on the market, which might be a little bit lower in cost and great to give a premium look. But as far as accuracy, that would be more on that trend. And once I'm done with everything, once I've done the criteria that I wanted to analyze, I just click on report and I have my evaluation. I have a quick visual way with the green overlay showing what are the areas that are working well and the areas that could be improved. Here is telling me my strengths and my weaknesses, what to treat first, result that can be improved, satisfying result. So on the result that can be improved, redness, pigmentation, and a little bit of thickness. Overall, is always encouraging by default. The setting is on the software to encourage, like working on your hair, fighting hair loss. What to treat first? Wrinkles is a big one because I'm 27 years old and it's ranging the depth of my wrinkles between 4 to 60-year-old. The texture of the skin, the pores, and the radiance. Because again, on those 3 criteria, like we see right here, I'm pretty bad. Those are the results that I gotta truly work on. Again, the texture and the pores. So going back to report, again, we've shown history right here. I can come back to see what was the result back then. And here in my report, I'm going to have the picture that has been taken, the advice, the result. And on the right side, you can see the right column will be dedicated to your recommendations with a picture of the product and the name. And I can print this report. I can send it by email, WhatsApp, or I can save the report. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. Just leave it a couple of minutes. Let me reshare my screen. And there we go. So we will see your logo, your information on the header, the information of your client, date, visual view of your criteria, of your analysis, and then the picture, the result, and on the bottom part of each criteria, you would see your recommendations. Here, we did not compute any recommendations, so it doesn't show, but it would show in this area all the products and services that you recommended. So that way, if your client decides to not do any additional services or buy any products or just didn't move forward with anything at this moment, they can go home, sit on it, look at their data again, and think about everything. Or we don't even need to think about a upcharge kind of spirit. It can be just a nice experience that you provide to your client. And that's pretty much it. Once you computed everything, super easy to install. You got to think in mind, it's a tool to centralize your data. It's not here to replace you. It's centralize everything in your spa. It's got to be the starting point. and quick way to sell additional products, sell additional services, and be more comfortable, talking about your catalog of products and services with your client.
Right. Does anyone have any questions? Yeah.
I don't have a question, but can I say something about the device?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
So just because I was intrigued, I was like, oh, let me go do another report on myself. And I could definitely tell the difference. I wish I could show you guys the report, but like I can see, like, I remember when we first did it on myself, when I first got the device, to now, I was in mild radiant. Now I'm like in the radiant department. And so it works. It works. And it's definitely something to have in your practice because it helps not just us as estheticians, but also to see whether the product line that we're carrying in our back bar and our retail is actually going to be helping our client, or whether our clients are actually doing the home care regimens that we are, kind of like sending them home with. So just want to see that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and so glad to see you on the webinar. Well, I'm glad Shafra has been one of the people that really trusted us, and so glad to have her as a partner and a client. But yeah, thank you so much for the good feedback. It really summarized what I said, and I'm sorry I talked a lot, but I'm running on low sleep and 21 consecutive days of work, so I'm a little bit excited, overstimulated. But no, it's super nice. Great way to centralize the data again, and it's always rewarding as a professional, I believe, like Shafra, to see the progress. Even if your client doesn't end up buying products or services, just the reward of seeing the progress with tangible proof of your work, it's very great.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. If there's no other questions, I'm going to put my email in the chat, and I think most of you know how to get a hold of me. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I will, if I don't have the answer, I will get the answer for you from Kevin. And I'll also put my phone number on there, which.
And Isabella, Zuri, very nice to meet y'all. If y'all have any question or just interest, we have other videos showing the whole experience. It's really, if you're just simply curious or serious about investing into this kind of technologies for your practice, but you have doubts still or requires additional demos, please feel free to reach out to us. It'll be a pleasure to at least get a discussion.